Greetings and welcome. Welcome to Shema T.V. Shema is an ancient word of Hebrew origin with many connotations and detailed definitions. Initially it means to hear, but not only to hear, but to listen. And not only to listen, but to listen intently and intelligently. For truth is about to be delivered, and once this truth is gleaned by the listener, he or she is to proclaim the same truth to others. This program seeks this lofty goal, to unearth things that are buried, to return to the original intent of the scriptures, and to equip a people for the second coming of the Messiah. In the book of Tehillim, known to the world as Psalms 127 and 1, it reads, "Except the Almighty build the house, they labor in vain who build it. Except the Almighty keep the city, the watchers wake in vain," or watch in vain. When a house is built, the site is founded. The foundations are laid, then the building begins. Plans are drawn up, specifications, and then the building begins. But the second part of the verse reads, once the house is built, except the Almighty keep the city in which the house is, the watchers waketh or watch in vain. In the book of 2 Corinthians, Rav Shaul, known to the world as the Apostle Paul, says, if this earthly dwelling dissolve, we have a house with the Almighty, made without hands, eternal in the heavens. Paul was speaking about our earthly house. This house, if it were to be dissolved, we have a house eternal in the heavens, made without hands. Why? Because if we let the Almighty build the house, we won't labor in vain, building our own house, establishing our own righteousness. If we allow the Almighty to keep the city in which the house is in, our life, the watchers won't have to wait in vain or watch in vain. This means the watchers are the ministers who watch for your soul. Except they let the Almighty keep the city, the watchers watch in vain. Why? Because they don't know what to watch for. They don't know what to watch for. If they keep the city themselves, they don't know what to watch for. When a house is built, the site is founded. The plans are drawn, the specifications are made, and the house is built. In Hebrew, the language in which the Bible was written, that word build is bana. It means to establish and to cause to continue. In the book of Yeshayahu, known to the world as Isaiah 62 and 6, it reads, "I've set watchmen on your walls, the walls of the city. I've set watchmen there who will never hold their peace, who will never stop watching, day or night. You who make mention of the Almighty, keep not silent." When a city is watched, that means a security detail. That means a detail is established, and the orders are given, and the sentinels or the sentries are posted. He's given certain details that will keep the city. In the same book of Yeshayahu, known to the world as Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20, it reads, "To the Torah and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in them. Repeat. Isaiah 8:20 reads, to the Torah and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, there is no light in them. First of all, in the original language, that word Torah means instructions. These are the instructions that are given to the watchman in order that the city might be kept. If they speak not according to this word, then they're not the watchmen that the Almighty put upon the walls of the city. This is how the verses are divided, rightly divided. When the Messiah walked the earth, he proclaimed that he was the light of the world. And Yeshayahu, or Isaiah, was known as the Messianic prophet. This is why the Messiah quoted him. He said, I am the light of the world. But Yeshayahu said, to the Torah and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, there's no light in them. Who are they? Who's the they that Isaiah talks about? He's talking about the watchman, the one that watches for your soul, the ministers, the pastors. In the book of Proverbs, it says, by wisdom the Almighty founded the earth, and with wisdom established the heavens. This is the same word that's used when the opening verse, build, in Hebrew, bana. He established the heavens with understanding, both with wisdom. He founded the earth. When you build a house, you found the site first. The foundations are laid and then the plans are drawn. In the book of Deuteronomy, or Devarim in Hebrew, Moses, who was given the Torah, or the instructions, at Mount Sinai, spoke to the people, the nation whom he delivered the Torah to, the instructions to. He said, keep therefore these statutes and judgments and decrees, and do them, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, who will hear of these statutes and judgments and decrees and declare, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Now, originally, the verses go as follows. Except Yahweh build the house, they labor in vain who build it, those who establish their own righteousness. Except he keep the city. That means we keep it ourselves. We establish our own righteousness. The watchers wake or watch in vain. These verses contain the original name of the Almighty, Yahweh. Yahweh. He has a name, just like we do. Lord and God, and these are but titles. He has a name just like we do. Just like we don't want anybody to call us anything other than what we are called, how much more the Almighty? It's a form of disrespect to call someone out of their name, an individual. But we're made of flesh. We're talking about the Almighty, the creator of the universe. It's the highest form of disrespect not to call him what he's called, not to find out what he's called. This is a part of our learning process. The Messiah said, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. It means to learn what he's called. It means to learn how he wants to be approached. how he wants to be worshipped. We're supposed to be finding these things out. That's what our freedom is about. That's what our freedom is about. We were freed from the bondage of Satan, from the bondage of sin. And this is what we're supposed to be doing with our freedom. I hope you will tune in to Shema TV, that we may together better know our Creator, that we may better know how to walk with him. We come as we are, but when we learn of him, we correct our ways. We cross over. That's what Abraham did. He called him out of his home, out of his father's house, out of his country. Abraham didn't know where he was going. But by faith, he embarked on a journey that allowed him to be the father of the living. The father of the living. This is Mikael McDaniel. Until next time, Shema, hear and listen. Shalom.